Thank you for waking up with Happy Ass, where we come together to join mind, body, and spirit so we can in turn go out and make the world a brighter and sweeter place to live for ourselves and for others. What you don't know is I did that intro like 3 times, totally forgot the words. Only been saying it for 5 years. So anything can happen in this crazy, fun, wonderful world. And what's wonderful about it today, I'm super excited, I've got one of my sweet artist friends with me, Maurice, but I found out recently he's not just an artist. You're not just an artist. You're really, really, if they can see my jacket, I've got this jacket on the back. It says, I love myself, instead of I love New York. So I love you as an artist. I love you. You're an amazing artist. But I'm really intrigued by your project of self-love. Can you tell me a little bit about what that means, Maurice?
Sure. I like to first tell you about the journey that I took to get here. So basically, about almost 15 years ago, my daughter was almost 2. And for some reason, I felt this desire to share a lot of my insights about love and about life with her in a letter that I would give to her and let her kind of go through it as she grew in age to kind of start understanding it more as she grew. And as I was writing that letter, I started to see a few reoccurring patterns. One was everything that you're looking for outside of yourself is found within. And 2, everything that's happening outside of yourself, you experience it as a reflection of what's going on within yourself. So to me, those reoccurring themes reminded me of self-love. So I decided to look into everything I could find regarding love, relationships, fear, almost everything you can think of that it was important about how we live our lives. And ultimately, I ended up developing my own personal philosophy of self-love. And that letter started as me looking to express my love to my daughter and turned into me discovering the love within myself.
That's amazing. And that brings up a huge thing. And it's something that I had a hard time learning as a young person and still work out today. I remember when you're young, you're taught love others as you love yourself. And I think, wait a minute, what do you mean? That means that I must first love myself if I'm to truly love others.
Yeah.
And you do discover that when I'm looking for something, everything I'm looking for out there is found in here.
Indeed.
It's found in here.
Yeah.
And it's hard to imagine that. It's hard. So I love that. And you wrote something. I love the fact that you were writing letter. Now, how old's your daughter now?
She is about to be 18 this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Does she live around here?
She lives in Panama City.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
so
cool.
Pretty close. Yeah.
What does she think about her dad writing her letters?
She kind of resists some of the ideas.
Yeah.
You know, obviously she's
That's
a
what we
teenager. She has her own ideas of what's what in life. But overall, I think she's slowly starting to come into understanding.
Yeah. My kids, like Brett, I don't know that she even liked me until she had children. And she realized, oh, I now see what mom's doing. I think you truly don't really understand your parent until you are a parent, you know? I mean, you just don't. But one thing that you said that really got me, I was looking on your website, and it said, difficulty is a moment of inner reorientation, not reaction. Difficulty is a moment of inner reorientation, not reaction. So I always think about when I'm having difficulty, if I react to something, it's not good. If I respond, it can possibly be better. But I love that. Difficulty is a moment of inner reorientation. So what do you mean by that? What's your interpretation of that?
That's a great question. I think what I meant by that was that we take difficulty we make it so much more than it actually is. I think a lot of times it's just we're not used to something. We're not familiar with it. So it takes us time to reorient our experience to being more familiar with a certain thing. And then once we get familiar with it, the difficulty leaves, and then we feel like it's easier to do. So that's kind of what I was saying. It's just we're so hard on ourselves when something is difficult. But if we just understand, it's just because I'm not familiar with it yet.
It's almost like the fear of something is worse than the actual something.
Exactly.
You know, you worry, and then you realize the thing is not even the thing. You spent all this time and worry, and it wasn't even necessary. I love that. And also, I love, this is really, okay, I'm going to tell you my take on this one.
Okay.
And then I'm going to read yours. So I say this all the time. And I am really, and if you know me for 10 minutes, you know I say this. Business is not just business. I get so aggravated if people use that quote to condone or excuse unkind behavior. Business is just business. I do not believe that at all. I believe that business should be for others. My business should make life brighter and sweeter for other people, whether it's a real estate business, whether it's my podcast, your painting, whatever you do, that's what it's for. So you said, I love this, business is collaboration, not competition. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. How do you feel about that? Expand on that a little bit.
Looking to remember what I was thinking. I think what I was meaning to convey is that a lot of us think that, well, I think it was this idea of being self-made that I was really pointing to when I was writing that. We think sometimes we do everything on our own. If we start a business, this is my business. I created it from nothing. Nobody helped me. I'm self-made. And I think I was looking at the idea of how that's an impossibility, because everything that we do, whether it's business or anything else, involves other people on some level, because you can't have a business without customers. So that means already there's people that are involved in your business, whether they're paying you money or whether it's the bank that you go to, or whether it's the marketing that you're doing, whether it's the products that you're selling, or whatever it is, it involves other people on some level. So collaboration is inherent in business in one way or another.
I think if you're going to be successful, it is. I just don't believe it. I don't believe in burning bridges unless they're absolutely, it's causing harm to you and others. You might want to burn that bridge. But I think it's so important to have that spirit of collaboration. And I read something else the other day about collaboration. I talked about it the other day. I'm thinking now that I want to collaborate with grace.
Okay.
I want to, and everything I do, I want to collaborate with grace. Because if I can collaborate with grace, then I am going to be open and kind and loving to other people. And this kind of gives me, because when I met you, and you were at my first art show, and then you came again, I did not put a connection between your paintings and your mission. So if you read your mission and what you're talking about, and you can do that, by the way, y'all. Y'all can go to Maurice's website. I forgot what the website's called.
It's basically self-love spelled backwards. So EVOLFLES.com.
Yeah, because I've had one of those where you put it up and then you're just looking back at it, self-love. So that was really awesome. So I saw that and I thought, well, wait a minute, Karen. That's why all his paintings are hearts and peace signs and stuff like that. That's why I'm drawn to them. Yeah. And I have 1, 2, 3. I have 2 fairly good sized ones and have 1 really big one, which is my hands down favorite.
I thought of you immediately when I finished that. Oh my
gosh. It's just hearts. Y'all, it's hearts in every color and every texture. There's textures or I believe in texture, color, and all those things. So I love that so much. So this will be a good spot for me to thank our sponsors, Maurice. Okay. Years ago, I started this podcast, actually 2020, during COVID. Okay. Was that COVID? Yeah. Was that? Yeah, it was COVID. Yeah. COVID. Oh my gosh, Lord. I'm forgetting my byline. Y'all don't worry about me. I'm really okay. Maybe a little scattered. But I want to thank Buffalo Rock Pepsi. Buffalo Rock Pepsi is my #1 big sponsor for my podcast, and I'm thankful for them. I love Diet Cherry Pepsi, but what I love more than that is I just love who they are. I love how they want to show up in the community, and they're really interested in that. And they also were very happy to help me spread my message of happy-assery for everyone. Another sponsor I want to thank so much, one of my top sponsors, is Holiday Beach Mechanical and Rentals. They're precious and fabulous. They have HVAC, air conditioning, and electrical, and they are at this house all the time and in my office. I'm so grateful for them. Of course, my darling little dress, if you can see it on YouTube, is from Gypsy Willow. My jacket, actually, by the way, I'll have to show you a picture of it later, is one of Maurice's pieces that says, I love myself, instead of I love New York. So I'm rocking that today. And I'm just very thankful for these people like Hugh Salon and Bay Tax that helped me spread my message. And I'll talk to you about a few more at the end of the message, but I'm not going to forget that sweet Elysian med spa that helps me stay purdy, because that's kind of important. And purdy's a Southern word, by the way. Do you know that? P-U-R-D-Y?
I know now.
Yeah, you know now.
Yeah.
Because I doubt you're Southern. I'm going to find that out in a minute, too. Back to what we were talking about, I do want to find out, where are you from, Maurice? Where were you born?
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles? Okay,
yeah, California.
That tracks. Mm-hmm. And so, when did you move from there? When did you come here? Or tell me your travels from there to here.
Well, when I was early 20s, I'm 47 now, by the way. So early 20s, I started to, well, it started with a breakup initially.
Yeah, it always does, doesn't it?
Yeah, I had a breakup. Started getting depressed. And a friend of mine gave me a book to help me feel better. It was The Art of Happiness with the Dalai Lama.
Oh, yes.
And it took me a while to get to it, but once I finally did, there was one concept in that book that really helped. It actually sparked me along this spiritual journey, which was the idea that happiness is an inside job, essentially. It's, you have a choice in how you feel, whether it's happy or unhappy. It's a choice that you're making. It's not about something happening outside that's making you feel that way. So that idea alone turned everything around for me and got me on a path of discovering more about how to implement that in my life. So from that point, I got obsessed with everything I could find about personal growth and development, and then got tired of the LA thing, right? The superficial aspects of it, the things that were more surface level. So I wanted to change my environment. So I ended up going to Georgia, to Atlanta. Was there for a while, and then I went to Hawaii for about 4 or 5 years, then Virginia Beach, and then I got divorced in Virginia Beach, and my ex-wife is from here. So she moved here with the kids, so I came here to be closer to the kids.
That makes sense. And how many children do you have?
I have 3 now.
Wow,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, most everything big in my life started with a breakup.
Yeah.
You know, when I call him my starter husband. When my starter husband left us, I guess I was 39, and I was so cute. I don't know why he left. I was adorable. I don't know what in the world he left for, but whatever. And I was devastated. I was absolutely wrecked. I could not understand why the birds were singing, why people just kept on moving on the planet. It killed me. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I was nauseated. It was horrible, horrible. But I had 3 kids, so I had to shock myself back. I said, Karen, you can't do this. Mm-hmm. You have 3 kids that depend on you. I mean, lost tons of weight. I just was wrecked. But you know what's so amazing? It's kind of cool. I'm going to read this passage in a minute that reminds me of that. I would not have ended up meeting my husband, who I've told you about, is the best human I've ever met on the planet. Mm-hmm. You know, he's since gone. He died on a full moon almost 8 years ago. He was more spiritual than person, for sure. But I would never have had that experience had I not come to that gut-wrenching, horrible experience. And it does make you look inside yourself.
Indeed.
Because no one out there ever can fulfill what you need to fulfill in yourself. Because if they can, then it's not real. Because it's going to change. Yeah, I mean, I see you grinning
agree.
at that.
Absolutely.
You figured that out.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't if you hadn't gone through the pain.
Yes. And why do you think that happens? Why do you think relationship breakups are so impactful?
Well, I think it's because they're not easy, because we have to compromise. We find out who our true self is. Because I'll be very honest with you, I have not even had one single relationship since my husband passed away. It's been almost 8 years. And every now and then I go, I might want to see somebody, possibly, sort of, I don't know. And then I go, ooh, so much work, a lot of effort. And it is effort. Any relationship is effort, but it's worth it. Because I've really never done anything in my life that had a little bit of difficulty, a little bit of compromise that really amounted to anything. I mean, maybe that's just me. I haven't learned by easy things. Have you?
I think, it's the challenge that helps us to learn. But if we can go back to the relationship thing again, the breakup thing for a second. For me, I think, at least from my experience, it's the relationships end up creating an experience of basically you find yourself being completely enthralled in that relationship and in that person. So once the relationship ends, you kind of lose a sense of self. So that's why it's devastating. And then we have to kind of rediscover who we are outside of that relationship experience. And then that's when the growth can happen, because we learn that, well, at least I did, that I'm not certain things that I thought I was before. Like, I'm not the relationship. Who I am does not depend on that person. Because again, I was completely identified with that person and their approval in a lot of ways. So I think the breakup kind of helps you to see who you are not in a lot of ways.
Oh, I like that. The breakup helps you see who you are not. That's tweetable. That's a tweet moment right there. I know for me, it's funny because really my first breakup was Brett's father, Eddie. And that wrecked me because I was like mesmerized by that dude. He was my first love, so I was like crazy about that fella, thus Brett. So Scott, because we've been married for 16 years, I think I was just kind of almost also embarrassed because I never saw myself as being a divorced person. So I looked at it as a failure, like I failed, you know. So that was, and also because there was infidelity, it wrecked me because I am about to be 67. That is mind-boggling to me. I still to this day am surprised when people are not sweet. I'm surprised. Like, I think everybody's supposed to be sweet. I think there's no need for passwords. We should all just be honest, and you shouldn't have to worry about it. So I, in a way, still have this childlike view of how the world is. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I know that sounds weird. I mean, people make fun of me sometimes for being so rose-colored glasses, but I think I'm okay with that. But I do know that I did lose myself in relationships before. It became something I wasn't. I did not do that with my husband, which quite ironically, you made me think of something. When he passed away, even though it was difficult because I missed him terribly, it wasn't as painful as divorce. It was because I knew that he loved me. I knew that our life together, everything I ever learned from him was going to continue for the rest of my life. And I was just so thankful for having him that I didn't want to spend time being upset that he was gone. So it was really not that hard. I mean, that sounds horrible, but it wasn't. You know? I
say the same thing all the time.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So were you scared of relationships now, or do you
I'm not scared at all.
Is it too personal to ask you if you have a girlfriend right now, or
I don't right now? Yeah.
Being single.
Yeah, it's been a little challenging. I think I'm able to relate to people more, but it's harder for people to relate to me because of the way I see relationships and the way I see love. Because one thing I've changed since years ago is I don't think about being in love with people anymore. I think about being in self-love with them. It's a big difference. So in other words, my experience of love doesn't depend on another person's behavior, what they think of me, you know, whether I approve of their actions or what have you. It depends on my state of being within me. And to me, a relationship is meant to express the love that I have inside and experience that love with the person versus get love from them, because I don't believe you can actually get love from somebody. To me, you can only experience the love that you have within yourself. So once you get really acquainted with that love you already have, and then you allow yourself to express that love, no matter what anybody does in front of you, they can act however they want. They're completely free to be who they are. And I'm going to experience love regardless of what you do. Two people doing that in a relationship, to me, that's the goal. That's the idea.
And that's what Hugh and I had. And I think a lot of it, and I told you before we got started that he was a student of, Marianne Williamson, Return to Love.
Course in Miracles.
Course, thank you. Oh my gosh, the Course in Miracles. Yeah. And that's, I got his book on the counter. But that's what he studied. That was his philosophy. That was a thing that he loved. He was a huge, huge lover of God and grace and love and kindness and servant to your fellow man. And so I wrote down something after you said that about falling in love and stuff. We teased each other and we said, we don't think falling in love sounds too safe. How about you grow in love with somebody? And that's what happened to us. I didn't fall in love with Hugh. I grew in love with him because of the human he was and the person I became when I was with him. I feel like I became a better person because of my husband. Than I was,
That's good.
I think he did too, so it's pretty cool. I love it. So when did you start doing art? What came first, the chicken or the egg? Did the self-love project happen after the art, or did the art happen and then self-love was born?
Self-love was first, and at a certain point, I was just looking for more ways to express self-love. And I've always had an affinity for art and creating. I'm a creative person at heart. So I just started playing around with canvas and paint. And eventually I started liking some of the things I was creating. So I had so many built up in my home at the time, I think over 100 pieces of art.
Wow.
So I was looking for ways to make room for new ones. So I started giving them away. And then people started asking me, can they buy them? So I started selling them. So for me, it was just a different way to express self-love.
So is that your full, as far as your craft or your workmanship or what you do for a living? Is it all your art and stuff? Do you do anything else, or is this what you do?
Actually, right now, I've been kind of taking a break from art and doing more speaking, writing, some workshops here and there. I have a book based on that letter I wrote to my daughter that I'm planning to publish pretty soon. And doing more things like that, more so than the art at the moment. But I think my whole life's purpose at this point is just to find creative ways to express and share self-love.
That's awesome. I love it. So I've only been writing a book now for like 8 years, and I keep pushing it in the corner. And when I started my affirmations book, I'm working on formatting it right now. So my favorite thing to do is to speak and to write as well.
Okay.
I want to do more of it. I get stuck at I can write it all day long, but I get stuck at the part where you get it published, where you form all the technical stuff, which I am absolutely... I was going to say be sweet and give myself a C-, but it may be like a D+, possibly at the most.
Okay.
And I think a lot of us creatives are like that. I get stuck at that part of it. But, so I'm excited. So do you have a name for your book yet, or are you telling anybody yet?
Yeah, it's called 3 Letters.
3 Letters.
3 Letters, because I ended up finding that the letter organized itself into 3 specific letters, which was a life letter, a love letter, and a relationship letter. So love, life, and relationship were the 3 areas of experience that I felt were important to express and communicate. And all 3 of those together, I decided to call the total package 3 Letters. And then also the subtitle is There Is Only Y-O-U. 3 letters, Y-O-U, there's only you. That's awesome. That's the theme of the book. And yeah, there's also an origin letter in there. And then there's also a children's story. So it's self-love from or communicated to a younger person. So basically it's my daughter, it's me communicating to my daughter from the time she was almost 2 all the way up into adulthood.
That's amazing. I write love letters to my office. I started it started when I was working at another place, and I started writing weekly love notes to the people I worked with. And then when I didn't write one, they go, "Where's our love note?" So I started doing that. I was working at a lighting place. And when I started Beachy Beach, from the day I started Beachy Beach, 2010, every month before our monthly meeting, I wrote a love letter to my office. Wow. So I have all those. So I was going to put that in a book.
That would be a good idea.
Oh, thank you for saying that. You know what somebody told me? That's not a great idea, and I didn't do it. Isn't that silly? Of somebody like me, somebody says it's not a great idea, and I didn't do it. So I have all these letters already written. They're all done. I know, crazy. They're done. I just got to put them together. I've already written all kind of books, but they're just sitting in the corner. So I know. What kind of advice would I give to myself? Goodness grief, Karen. So that is so cool. Are you going to self-publish, or are you going to get a publisher?
Definitely self-publish.
That's what Britt did. Britt's done 2 poetry books so far. She self-published.
Yeah. Because I see this book.
I guess that's what I'll do too.
To me, this book is not your average book. And I don't think, I've talked to a few publishers and they wanted me to change a lot of things. I didn't really get the concept So to me, this is a book to all daughters. It's dedicated to my daughter and inspired by my daughter, but it's for every daughter. Mm-hmm. So it's a father's perspective of self-love to a daughter, mm-hmm. and of life, love, and relationships. So I talk thoroughly about relationships, about men and women and how they interact with each other and the importance of them coming together. Because another thing that happened early on with my relationship with my daughter was when I started to realize I was having a daughter, I wanted to make sure that my personal relationship with the feminine within me was something that made sense for me to be able to connect better with my daughter, because I felt like if I was looking at women in certain, sexual or objective ways that objectify them, then my daughter would eventually see some of that come out of me at some point. Yeah. And it would affect the way she looked at men, and then it would also affect our relationship. So I started working on becoming more acquainted and healing, or not healing, but just becoming more loving with the feminine aspect of myself.
That part of your mind and body and soul. Yeah.
Because as guys, we're a lot of times taught at a young age to suppress that aspect of ourselves, right? Don't cry, stop acting like a girl, all of that stuff.
Yeah. Like acting like a girl's a bad thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Could be a good thing.
So then that relationship, I think, if we feel like we have to control that feminine side of ourselves, if we feel ashamed by it, we feel like it's something we can't show people, then when we end up getting in relationships with women, we project that same relationship we have with the feminine within ourselves onto the person. So now I have to try to control the female because she reflects mm-hmm. that relationship that I have with the feminine within myself. I feel like I can't be around her and show affection in public because I'm afraid to show that I'm feminine in certain ways within myself. I started to notice how I had to do some adjusting in that area of my life. So I did that. And then that helped my relationships with women now, because I'm able to relate to them better because I can relate to the feminine within myself better.
I've noticed that a lot of young people and young men aren't as tied up with that macho-ness that my era grew up with. I think mm-hmm. people are getting out of that and are being a little more, I don't know, self-reflective, but I know it really does happen in the spirit of recovery. Yeah. If you're in recovery, everything that you're doing is trying to figure out that the heart of you and your responsibility towards things. Because really what you're saying, self-love is a responsibility to yourself. And then when you do that, then you end up being more responsible to others. That's what I've seen.
That's a big part of it. One thing I like to say about self-love is it's, first of all, not what you think it is, both literally and figuratively. Because self-love is a state of being, and it's an experience that transcends thoughts. In fact, I like to say that it's a liberation from thoughts. It's when you recognize that who you are is not conceptual, it's experiential. And the only way to truly know yourself is to experience yourself. So anything you say about yourself is not truly 100% you. It's only thoughts about you. So when you can be present without any thoughts about who you are and what you are, and you can just feel the experience of being you, that state of being to me is the essence of self-love. So there's no definition per se that I have of self-love. It's more of ideas and concepts that point you toward having that experience. So that's kind of how I like to look at self-love. And then it changes. Once you start to look at the world from that point of view, that inside out point of view, then it changes the way you see everything, every aspect of life.
Yeah, I love it. I always say that all the time. I want to live my life from the inside out, always, because, and I say this all the time, that I have zero control, what's happening out there. But I have 100% control for what's happening inside my mind, body, and spirit. May have to work on it sometimes. I may react to something. That's why I told you earlier, I want to collaborate with grace. That's kind of my new buzzword right now.
Yeah.
And everything I do, I want to collaborate with grace. I'm going to read you something that I read in a book this week. I'm reading a book for the third time, which means it's really, really good. It's kind of like The Art of Happiness. I love that book. Mm-hmm. Also, Return to Love. I love that book. I've read it many, many times. But this is The Alchemist. I've got that up there. That's a great book.
Yeah.
But this book is When the Heart Waits, and it's about Sue Monk Kidd. It's not really an autobiography, but it's about a time in her life where she's kind of going through a midlife crisis. She's trying to question, like, what am I here for? What am I doing? I'm kind of there right now. Mm-hmm. I'm in the middle of that right now.
Okay.
So I am reading that book again, third time. And in this, I'm pretty sure it came from this book, so I wrote it down in my journal. And it says, if you think God leads you only beside still waters, think again. God will also lead you beside turbulent waters. If you have courage to enter, you'll think you're drowning, but actually you're being churned into something new. It's okay to dive in. And I'm thinking, oh, yeah, it's okay to dive in. You know, because I, at almost 67, and because now more of my life is gone than it's going to be. Mm-hmm. So I'm being really thoughtful about what am I spending my time on.
Yeah.
It's funny how when you go, and like when you're younger, you don't think about that. But now that I'm about to be 60, and I'm excited about being 67. I don't know why I'm so excited. For some reason, I think 67 is going to be just a magical, amazing year for me. I've already set it up in my heart and my head. So there it shall be. But I keep thinking for myself, I wrote this down after I read that, and it said, right now I'm going through a spiritual revisioning. What do I want to keep? What do I need to ditch? What is beneficial to myself and to others, and to this world, making it a better place? I want to live with the question. I want to live with the question of what am I here for? What am I actually doing? I'm okay to question. I used to feel bad that I didn't have it all figured out. And I think the whole point is we don't have it all figured out. Because if we did, we just go, okay, I'm done. I know everything. But then my biggest thing, like I said, is I want to collaborate with Grace.
Okay.
But besides that, I don't know what the hell I'm here for. But I'm trying to figure it out. So, do you know what you're here for?
I think we all are just meant to decide for ourselves, right? So for me, it's to creatively share self-love and to embody it and integrate it myself as well. So sharing it primarily through my demonstration of it. But I wanted to ask you, what do you think about the idea of taking full responsibility for your emotions?
Oh, I am 100. If I could go over 100%, which you really can't, I am 100% believe that I am fully responsible for my emotions. Now, I don't get upset with myself if I display an emotion that I maybe not think is beneficial in the moment. It's just an emotion, and I don't have to live by it. And it's telling me, it's just a guideline. It's telling me something that I need to know, that I either need to correct, do more of, or whatever. But I am a full believer. I don't blame anybody else for any part of the life that I'm living. It is 100% me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm adamant on that.
All right, just curious.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the practical benefits, I think, of self-love, as I understand it, is you start to take responsibility for your emotions and for any thoughts that you believe, any beliefs you have.
I am responsible. I don't know if you've heard me say it before, but one of the tenets, I've got a lot of little soundtracks that I live by. And one of mine is I believe in reverse paranoia. And reverse paranoia says that I believe everybody's out to help me. And it's funny because I know intellectually they're not, but in my spirit I think they are. So therefore, since in my spirit it's true, it's true. So I'm the kind of person that if you don't like me, I don't know it. Because I just assume you like me. I think I've just begun to know that everybody doesn't like me. I thought that they should, and why wouldn't they? I don't know. I thought they did. But even if they don't, it's okay. And again, I wouldn't know it. I've had friends say to me before, they go, that person was like dissing you or kind of making fun of you. I go, they were? I didn't even notice it. So my point is, you don't waste your hate on me because I won't even know it. I have something in my force field that repels it. Does that make sense?
It does.
It's weird. I mean, it's kind of weirdo. But
it kind of fits what I just said about how we're responsible for our beliefs and our emotions, right? So if someone believes something about you, it's not about you. It's more about them. They're responsible for what they believe. Same thing with how they feel. So that's another benefit, a practical benefit of self-love, is you start to recognize not only are my thoughts my responsibility, but also my emotions. And then you flip that to other people. So when they say something about you, you recognize that's more about them. So in reality, everybody does like you.
far as I know.
Yeah, and no, everybody is out to help you, because no matter what they do, you can learn something about yourself from it every single time.
I think we get this set in things that we've believed or we've done in our lifetime. And we think once it's set, it's set. And as I get older, I realize we can pluck up what was planted long ago. If there's something that we've planted, whether it be in your garden, and you decide you don't like it, it's not the flower you like anymore, pluck that baby up. Same way with my beliefs. If I have a belief that I have formed through all my dealings with the world, and it no longer works for me, I can pluck it up. I can pluck it up.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know what this 67 is doing to me. I mean, I've always been a real big thinker. If I could just make money just thinking, that'd be so cool. Oh my God, I love it. I think that's why I love my podcast so much, because I get to talk to people and share stuff. Yeah. And it's really weird. So when I'm sitting here, like if I'm sitting with you person to person, or if I'm in a big group of people, I sometimes will withhold things from people. But for whatever reason, when I'm sitting right here on this podcast, that people will listen to, act like nobody's on the other side of it. And I'll just say whatever I want to say, something that's kind of funny. Yeah.
It makes sense.
So tell me, where are you speaking? Where could somebody hear you speak? Do you do workshops? Tell me more about that.
I don't have a place specifically that I'm speaking at on a regular basis, but I have spoken at different yoga studios, different events, speaking events, some workshops, some retreats in the past, again, at yoga studios primarily.
Yeah, it aligns with what you're doing.
I used to host a group discussion or community group discussion where we would get together maybe twice a month. And then I would kind of lead a group conversation about some of these same ideas we're talking about now. And that was always fun, because you get to hear a lot of different perspectives on some of these ideas. And then everybody ends up leaving with a broader perspective about who they are and about life in general. So doing things like that is more fun to me than anything. The back and forth conversation.
I like workshops. I really do. I love workshops. And I keep threatening to have a happy ass workshop at my office and explore some of these things that I try to teach, because I really do believe that a lot of the people that are supporting me, like I'm gonna name one of them just because I want to thank them so much. I just heard from Maurice's restaurant. They're going to be a sponsor of my Happy Ass Life. So I'm so excited. I see way more Italian in my life now. Some more pasta. I'm so excited. But I think a lot of people, this is what I want to believe. A lot of the people that sponsor my podcast are not sponsoring it because they think it'll give them more business. It hopefully will, but I think they're sponsoring it because they believe, like I do, that they want the world to be a happier, more joyful place. They think the world could just be infused with more joy and kindness and hope and laughter and all the things that we're really meant to experience. Life does not have to be so hard. I told you I'm going through a really tough time right now. I'm got a lot of things I'm working through, a lot of questions about life, a lot of questions about raising children, how I do it, questions about my business. I mean, so much. None of it bad, but a lot of it very time-consuming and thought-provoking. I'm trying to figure it out. And but I'm still so happy in the middle of that. It's like I'm in the middle of a big ocean, but I'm held up by a raft. And every now and then I get knocked over by a wave, but I just kind of go, we're going to be okay.
So how do you do that? How do you stay happy in the midst of all that?
It's weird. I think a lot of it's, I was born that way.
Okay.
I do. But I spend, even though I'm around people a lot, I require a lot of me time. So I get up really early. I get up at 4 a.m. Very first thing I say when I open my eyes, and go, I do. I go, oh my God, I got another day. I'm so excited. And I get to have my coffee. I'm going to start dreaming about my coffee before I go to bed. It's so exciting. So I'm just infused with joy in the middle of all of it. But I meditate. I pray. I believe that the more I put out in the world by loving others, it bounces back to me like tenfold. I don't know. I'm just happy.
Okay.
But I am. And then I think people think I'm happy And Jen Berg, my fitness coach, said, you need to let people know, because she knew. Mm. She was like my therapist, too. People need to know that your life ain't this happy-ass life that they think it is. But you're still happy. You know, and I think that is true freedom when you can deal with all the muck of life, the turbulent of life, and know that it's okay to dive in. You know? You think so?
I think so. Yeah.
So, and you, obviously you're happy being by yourself. You're not one of these guys that got to have a girlfriend. Obviously.
Right.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, definitely.
Me too, obviously.
Yeah. And it has to, I'm at a point now where it has to make sense. Like if it's not, if it's not going to make sense, then I don't need to do that.
Because you're happy. Same. Maybe I'll be brave enough to share my list. I wrote a list. Mm-hmm. I wrote a list of if I was to have a relationship with a guy, of what they would have to be, or what they could not be. And my friends, when I read it to a couple of my friends, they said, well, I guess you're going to be alone the rest of the night. So I guess so. Fine with me. I mean, but why would I take a life that I already love, that I'm already grateful for, and put something into it that is not fully what I feel like I could live with? Mm-hmm. You know, one of my things is I cannot be with somebody that drinks. Mm-hmm. I don't do drugs or alcohol. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to have a relationship with anybody that does. It's just real important to me. Yeah. You know, it'd be good if I were a good golfer. That'd be really good, you know. So, yeah, it's funny. It's like I'm real... And then I also think, God, when in the world would I have to make an appointment with them like once every 3 weeks at like 1 to 2? I mean, my life's pretty full. Yeah. Is your life really full?
It's full, but there's room. There's room,
I don't have room in my life, but I'm trying to figure that out because my life is too full right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm admitting that I have great energy, can do so many things. I love climbing mountains, and I like to just take a breath and climb the next mountain. Mm-hmm. But I know for my overall health and peace and mental and physical health that's the old me trying to bust forth. That's not where peace and happiness and joy and continued spiritual progress is.
Yeah, I got sense? You. It does.
Yeah. Got to slow down to listen.
Yeah. And do you have a list for what you have to be for a relationship?
Yeah, I'm going to be the same. Absolutely. You know what? Bingo. There is I don't know if it's in Codependent No More, or maybe in one of the Al-Anon literatures, but everything that I'm seeking in someone else. If I want someone to be kind, loyal, fit, loving, any of the things, you know, generosity is a big thing for me. Mm-hmm. No penny pinchers. No generosity is very important to me. I got to be the same. And I'm okay with that. I'm really good with that. Because that's what I've been working on me for for 67, almost 67 years. Yeah. So I'm not there yet, though. Mm-hmm. I'm suspicious of people that feel like they got it all figured out. You know? Yeah. See, there's something. I had some other things I wanted to ask you. What do you see, like if you could wave a magic wand, would you just keep on painting all the time? But you said you've already kind of cut that back a little bit. Mm-hmm. You want to really do more of the speaking and the workshop-y, those things like that. You want to just more share what you got inside of you because it's meant so much to you. You want to share it with others. Is that it? Yeah.
So really, it's a brand that I'm creating that is going to creatively share this self-love message in as many different ways and through as many different mediums as possible. So I have film ideas. I have ideas for podcasts. I have ideas for collaborations with other brands where I can add the self-love message in a unique way to their specific offering, whether it's jewelry, whether it's fashion, whether it's mugs, whether it's anything, towels, blankets. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. Self-love can only add value to whatever it is that they're offering, but then it'll also help to get the message out to more people in multiple different ways. So ultimately, my goal is to embed self-love into human culture in a way that is so significant that it just becomes a part of our everyday lifestyle.
Kind of like I want everybody to be a happy ass. I want the whole world to be a happy ass.
But the thing is, though, I don't want necessarily everybody to love themselves. I just want to expose them to the information. And then whatever they choose to do with it is up to them. So that's my goal.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, thank you.
So it sounds like you were collaborating with Grace.
Yes.
You didn't know that, did you? You were collaborating with Grace.
I know now. Yeah.
I love it. Well, I have loved having you on here. I really have. And your art is amazing. And people and all. And there's 2 places in my office that we take pictures. That's 1 in front of my peace sign and 2 in front of those beautiful hearts.
Wow.
That you did. And you knew that painting was, even though you didn't paint it for me, but after you did it, you said, that's got to be for you.
Absolutely.
And it was.
Yeah.
It was absolutely for me. And I'm so grateful to people like you. I really am. Thank you, Maurice.
Likewise.
Do you have any parting words for our sweet little audience to say to them?
That's a great question. There's so many things I could say, but I guess what I would say is to consider looking into who you are and what love is, because self-love is more about the 2 words that make up the term. It's about self and it's about love. And the way you understand and define self and the way you understand and define love will be how you experience self-love. So if you broaden your understanding of those 2 words, your life experience will enhance to the same degree.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Once again, thank my precious people at Hughes Salon, Shorehouse Furniture, and Baytax, Elysian Med Spa, and now Ferrucci's. I'm so excited. You'll have to meet me downtown do you eat Italian food? You better say yes.
Yeah, I do.
I guess I should ask you first. Yeah, but thank y'all so much for being with us, and we're just so happy. And you happen to be the first person filming in my new podcast.
Awesome.
And
it's a pleasure. Thank you.
This room. It feels so warm and cuddly and happy, and we're surrounded by art.
Amazing art.
I don't know any other way to be surrounded by beautiful art that we all make, and we're all doing that in this world. So
yes.
thank you, Maurice.
Thank you.
All right. Be sweet, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.